cell. Here, the size of cell varies from one organism to another organism. Okay. If you have read in your 8th standard textbook, there was a question. I'll just tell that question, try to answer the question. Huh? Are the cells in ant are small compared to cells in an elephant? Got my question? Are the cells in ant are smaller than the cells in an elephant? Because see, when you compare the size of the both organisms, animal like elephant is such a huge one, it will also have cells. Then ant, such a small organism, and it will also have cells, isn't it? Now, based on the size of these organisms, does the size of their cells will change? Should be the same. Even cells also feels the same. Bhumika?
Ma'am, I think it would be different because ma'am, ant is small in size, so ma'am, the cells will be small.
So, elephant will have large cells.
Yes,
in
ma'am.
your view. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Milan, what do you think? You go with Arnav and Sahas, or you go with Bhumika's answer? Same like Arnav and Sahas. Okay. See, when you take any organism, whether it's a bacteria, where you'll find only one cell, or you take elephant like huge animal, or blue whale like the biggest animal on the earth. Okay. Whatever organism you take, the size of cell will not vary. Okay. The size of cell will not vary. But in terms of the cell structural aspect, yes, number of cells will vary. Okay. See, here the statement is the size of cells may vary from micrometer to millimeter. It's 10 to the power of minus 6 to 10 to the power of minus 3. That's all. So 0.003 would be the difference. You may have size variation, but not much, so that can be observed with naked eye. Size variation won't be there is a wrong concept. Size variation would be there. There is difference in size, but that size variation depends on the organism to organism. Okay, and the size variation will be very minute that we cannot observe it with naked eye. That's the point out here. So the ant and the elephant will have different number of cells, and the size would be the same because both are related to animal kingdom. That's the point of reference over here. Okay. Then, after size of cell, we go for shape of the cell. Now, the smallest living organism on this planet is PPLO. PPLO stands for Pleuropneumonia-like organism. Okay. It is the smallest one, and it is also called as mycoplasma. These are the various terms designated to PPLO. Now, as of here, the concept of PPLO came. I'll explain it in detail. So, if you understand this PPLO in detail, you can relate this with bacteria cell structure. So, if you take the PPLO, it looks like a bacteria, but smaller than virus. That's the speciality of PPLO. Pleuropneumonia-like organism. Now, when you take pleuropneumonia-like organism, so this is the structure of PPLO looks like. Now, here 3 to 4 points you have to understand. First foremost point is when you take a plant cell and animal cell, there are few similarities and few differences. regarding the outer covering. When you take plant cell, you will have cell wall. Okay? But in case of animal cell, you will not have cell wall. Then, when you take the cell membrane, also called as plasma membrane, you'll find it both in plant cell and in animal cell. But there is a special structure called capsule, which will be outer to cell membrane. Assume that this is capsule. You will have membrane or cell membrane around it. This is called the bacteria. If you have cell wall also around it, then that is called plant cell. If you have only the plasma membrane, then that is animal cell. There's a difference. Okay? So this is only the plasma membrane, only the cell membrane you will have in animal cell. But when you take the plant cell, you will have the cell wall and cell membrane, both you will have in plant cell. Whereas you take the bacteria, in bacteria you will have all the three. You will have the cell wall, cell membrane and capsule also outer to it. So here you have to understand capsule is the one which is the outermost layer in bacteria. First point. When you compare a plant cell and animal cell. Usually they'll ask difference between plant cell and animal cell. But in competitive exams, they'll go for asking difference between plant cell and bacterial cell or animal cell and bacterial cell. Then this is the first difference. You won't find capsule either in plant or in animal cells. You'll find the outermost. Here they have shown the green one, the light green one. This is the capsule. Capsule of bacteria. Okay. Now, when you take the outermost hair-like projections here, the green color ones, those are called pili. Pili. You will not find pili in animal cell or in plant cell. You will find pili only in bacteria. Pili are nothing but hair-like projections which help in reproduction of bacteria. In some textbooks, they refer pili as fimbriae. Both words are same, synonymous words. Okay, pili or fimbriae you will find on the outside of capsule only in bacteria. This is the basic difference between plant cell, animal cell and bacterial cell. Then, coming to the next difference, the most important difference between bacteria and plant animal cells. If you take plant cell or animal cell, most of them will have, assume that this is a plant or animal cell, you will have a nucleus surrounded by nuclear membrane. So this is nuclear membrane. Okay. Whereas in bacteria, you will not have any such nuclear membrane. The whole chromosomes or the whole genetic material will be in this coiled form within the cytoplasm itself. This we call as nucleoid. A new word only applicable to bacteria. Nucleoid. So in general, what they'll give? In bacteria, nucleus will be absent. One word. In bacteria, nuclear membrane is absent. Another one. In bacteria, real nucleus is absent. Another one. So all these three statements are correct. Don't get confused. Nucleus is absent. Why? Because we call it as nucleoid. The coil structure with chromosomes, shading on the picture, the coil structure in the form of chromosomes, which is there in cytoplasm. It's dispersed in cytoplasm. See, it doesn't have any outer membrane. So, nucleus is absent. This is not nucleus. This we call as nucleoid, found only in bacteria. Then, nuclear membrane, the membrane around nucleus, this is also absent in bacteria. So, such nucleoid is not real nucleus. isn't it? So real nucleus is also absent in bacteria. So all the three statements are correct in case of bacteria. This is about specification regarding bacteria cell structure. Organisms which doesn't have nucleus, which doesn't have nuclear membrane, which doesn't have real nucleus are called prokaryotes. Okay, prokaryote. Pro always means primitive. And karyon means what? I explained it several times. Karyon means what?
Nucleus.
Yes, sir. Nucleus. Karyon means nucleus. So the primitive nucleus you find in organisms, such organisms are called prokaryotes. So when a statement is given in this sense, just listen carefully. Prokaryotes are the organisms. I'm giving the choices. The organisms without nucleus. The organisms without nuclear membrane. The organisms without real nucleus. And last option is all the above. Which one will you choose?
And all of the above.
Yes, Bhumika, absolutely. All the above. ZPLO, pneumonia-like organism. The other name for PPLO is mycoplasma. Remember that word also. All the three words the same. PPLO, pneumonia-like organisms, mycoplasma. All the three words the same. They'll be having general bacterial cell structure. Then, if you take different cell sizes, so every one of you might be knowing ostrich axle is the largest cell and the nasal is the longest cell. Okay, here the relative sizes of different cells and cell organelles were shown on a chart, something like, see, poliovirus will be in nanometers. So I hope you know nanometers means the range of 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. Such a minute virus. Then when you take a smallpox virus or the flu virus, common cold virus, all those are in nanometers only. See the chart, NM, nanometers. Then bacterial cell we find in micrometers. Even red blood cells also in humans and animals. And plant and animal cells are somewhat bigger than these bacteria and viruses, but still they are not observed through naked eye. You have to use light microscope or else electron microscope. These are the few relative concepts. Okay, just to give you an idea how small the virus could be. Nanometers, and bacteria somewhat bigger than viruses.